Top of the morning, good afternoon, hello, and welcome to the SuperCoach Podcast, the business of coaching made easy. Now, most of you know who I am. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. If you do know, send me an email. I'm Dermot, and I'm really glad you're here. Episode 1, SuperCoach Podcast. Cheers. Did you bring your tea? Very, very important. You can't start the day without a good cup of tea. All right, if you're a coach, and there's a good chance you are. And whether you're just getting started or you've been at this business building, client creation for a while, or you just want to feel more confident, you want to start attracting clients, but in a way that's service-filled, not salesy, and you actually enjoy coaching again, you're in the right place. Now, for the month of January, I want to focus on one simple idea. I'm a big fan of simple. Everything I teach in my programs, it's simple, easy, and fun. That is our mantra. And this month, we're going to be focused on confidence. Confidence becomes before clients. It comes before marketing. It comes before business plans. It comes before tea. Actually, no, it comes after tea in the morning. And today, I'm going to talk to you about why that matters. Because I've noticed over the years, doing this for many, many years, most coaches are trying to solve the wrong problem. And they end up feeling a little bit like this. You know that feeling, right? Yeah. Over the years, I've felt like that at least twice. So we're going to be talking about confidence comes before clients. Now, let's talk about the problem or the struggle. And by the way, it's a very normal one. Here's what I've noticed after, like I said, started back in 2000 and back in the day of the pager and CD players. Do you remember those days? And one of the things I've noticed that after coaching for many, many years, I've also spent many years in international coaching school teaching people how to become coaches. And here's what I noticed. Most coaches, they don't struggle in their coaching sessions because it's a lack of knowledge. They struggle because they don't fully trust themselves. And we're going to talk about that in the session today. I've noticed over the years, and myself included, when I started out, overthinking the session, worrying about saying the right thing in the session, second-guessing myself. All right, you get the conversation, the replay of conversations in your head. Maybe I should have said this. Maybe I should have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. And so when confidence feels shaky in sessions, creating clients, it starts to feel a little bit heavy. So the question you might be asking, Dermot, let's get some harps going here. I always like the harps. The question, so what do we do, Dermot? Well, we usually think the answer is more information or another training or another certification or another strategy that Tony Robbins uses. And I've noticed that the answer is it's a lot more simple than that. Now, let me, let me take a little detour. Excuse me. I'm going to share a little story. Before we really go into this, I want to share a little story. Now, many years ago, I remember I was coaching. I've coached a lot of coaches on their coaching skill. But remember, quite a number of years, I was coaching a coach. And she said something that always stuck to me and something that I've heard a lot throughout the years. Halfway through our conversation, we were talking about coaching skills, and she was wanting to get better as a coach in her coaching sessions. And she paused and she said, Dermot, I feel like I'm always waiting to say the right thing. And by the time I think of it, the moment's passed or the session's over, or I think about it after the session. And I remember kind of chuckling because I've heard that exact thing so many times before that I've actually said it to my coach. And so I suggested to her, hey, in your next session, and here's something that you can do, dear listener, is give yourself permission to stop trying to get it right. And just stay present in the conversation. Most coaches that come through the SuperCoach Experience, they say, Dermot, how do I get clients? And I say the first thing is to have sessions with people where you take the money off the table and you just have a conversation of service, not selling. And so I said, hey, look, I want you to give yourself permission to stop trying to get it right, because that will cut confidence off in a heartbeat, quicker than a heart attack. Now I'm playing with my new podcast here, so I want to do a drum roll. There you go. Special effects included at no extra charge. Now, what was interesting, she came to me in the next session and she said, Dermot, you're not going to believe it. I had the best session I ever had. And I said, what did you do? She said, I just relaxed. I stayed present with the conversation, and I did that thing you said. I gave myself permission not to get it right. And as a result, she said, I felt so confident in the session. Now, that's when it clicked for me, because I realized that confidence doesn't come from knowing what to say. It comes from trusting yourself enough to just stay in the conversation. And that's powerful. Now take a moment, coaches. Just take a moment with that. Next time you're in a session, I give myself full permission. For me, for many years, I came from a family of fixers. And I always thought, well, I got to fix this person in the session. I got to, I don't have enough confidence, so let me fix them. And I'll feel more confident about myself. And I started giving myself permission to not fix people. And it allowed my confidence to soar. Now, we're going to be talking about confidence the whole month of January. So don't worry, let everything just sit with this episode. These are short episodes, they're 10 to 15 minutes. Sit with them, have a nice cup of tea, and just listen and relax. Listen to it once, let it just flood through. And if you listen to it again, take a note or two. But the first time, just listen to these podcasts as we move through them in the future. Just listen relaxed. It's the best way. So what I realized from that was simple. That clients, they're not coaching us because, coaches are not coaching their clients because they want to be perfect, They're coaching their clients, or clients are hiring us, should I say, better way of saying it. Not because they want perfect responses, but they want a coach that can sit and listen so that they can feel heard and seen. And that's the great thing about coaching. Here's the most important thing I can say today. As coaches, confidence is not about certainty. It's not about sounding smart. It's not about performing for the client. As coaches, we have an opportunity. We have the gift that we bring is we listen in a way that they've never been listened to before. And we ask the client questions that they've never considered or never asked themselves before. And that's coaching. Coaching is about presence. Confidence is about presence. It's not about trying to say the right thing. And when presence is there, coaching becomes very simple. Your conversations flow, the pressure drops. And interestingly enough, what I've noticed over the years of teaching this is that creating clients becomes a heck of a lot easier. One of the things that I teach in the SuperCoach Experience is sit down and have a client conversation. Not an enrollment conversation, a conversation of how can I help? A lot of the stuff I'm sharing, I learned it over the years through a lot of trial and error, and also I've hired some of the best coaches in the world: Michael Neal, Steve Chandler, Catherine Casey, Karen Davis. I've been coached by the best, and so we're sharing as much as we can in these 10 to 15 minute episodes. So confidence is about presence. When you're present with another client, with another human being, the door opens and the magic happens. And that's the way it should be, because people they're not paying us to be perfect coaches. They're paying us to sit down with another human being and have another conversation with another human being. Now, let's paint the possibility here for a minute. I want to help you to kind of feel this outcome, feel this, what I'm talking. Take this for a moment. Sit down, relax, grab the tea. Imagine what coaching would feel like if you could trust yourself 5% more. Imagine what coaching would feel like if you could step into being present 5% more in your next session. Imagine, coaches. Imagine. We need harps. Hang on, let's get the harps going here. Imagine going into a session. I'm sorry, I'm having too much fun with my new podcaster. But imagine going into a session without all the pressure of getting it right. Or imagine going into a session and being able to just stay in curiosity and out of anxiety and trying to get it right and pushing and pressing. Wouldn't that be nice? Or having to imagine, okay, what process, what tool, what technique should I use here? Oh my God, what should I say here? Imagine just going into a session relaxed. One of the best coaches in the world, Catherine Casey, she would say to me, Dermot, a coach's superpower is being relaxed in a session. And she was absolutely right about that. Because when you show up grounded, you're present, your client feels it. Conversations become easier and opportunities tend to show up. Clients are like, my God, that coach really got me. That coach was on track. That coach was speaking my language. And that's why I say confidence comes before clients. Not because it's a nice to have, but because it quietly supports everything you do as a coach and creating client. And that's powerful. That is very powerful. Now take a minute, grab your tea, have a little sip, let that sink in for a moment. So give yourself permission to just sit and relax with your client. Sit and be present with your client. Give yourself permission to take getting it right, doing it right, the perfect process, the perfect tool and techniques. One of the things that I love to do in the SuperCoach Experience is we do live demos where I take a client. We had a client come in last month and I coached the client. It was a non-coach, not a coach. And I coached the client in the room. And then I had the coaches ask the client questions about their experience. We do this every 3 months. Powerful, because you get to sit in a live conversation and to see what presence really looks like. I'm pretty decent at this and I'm quite present with my clients. And to see that in a session is powerful. Now, later this month and and early into February, I'm going to be inviting you to some live coaching experiences where we'll actually practice this stuff that I'm talking about in these episodes for this month. So, look out for that and make sure to be part of the newsletter. I'll leave a link down below. You can sign up for the newsletter and I'll let you know about some of those sessions that are coming up. They're going to be very, very powerful. Not theory, just conversations, real live demos, and of course, a really nice space to just build your confidence through experience, through practice. So I'll let you know about that coming up. And of course, for all the coaches who want ongoing practice, accountability and support, I'll be sharing an option later on this month with you as well. Okay, let's wrap it up. What I'd like you to take from this today is that confidence comes before clients. And the best way to step into more confidence is just to be relaxed. It really is. Give yourself permission to be relaxed. Now, we're going to talk a lot more about confidence for the whole month, so enjoy those conversations. But for now, I want you to sit with the idea that confidence comes before clients. We'll keep exploring this throughout the whole month from different angles. Next episode, I'm going to share a story of how this really solidified for me. And just want to say thanks very much for listening. We really appreciate you coming on and listening to the show. Got lots of great episodes coming up. And until the next time, keep coaching, keep serving, have fun. And that, my dear coach, is no blarney.